Now, I love a good brother's best friend moment, and high-key wish I had an older brother who has hot friends. Unfortunately, my brother is 12, so I can never have a brother's best friend moment, but that's okay. I'm fine. And welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be filming a tier ranking video, and I'm going to be ranking my favorite tropes. So we're going to be ranking all of the romance book tropes, and I'm going to be ranking them from, you know, my most favorite to my least favorite. The way that I'm going to be ranking them is we have God tier, which is the all-time favorite, most amazing tropes, my favorite ones, and then we have love, which are ones that I love to read, but they're not quite all-time fave, but I still do absolutely love them and really enjoy them. Then we have like, which are ones that, you know, I think are okay, I still do enjoy them, but they're not like all-time faves. And then we have and those ones are just ones that like I'll read if it's in there, but it's not like one that I actively seek out and enjoy reading. But if it's there, it's there. It's not like a big deal. And then we have the ones that I avoid. And these are the ones that I absolutely hate. I do not read, will not read, don't like to read, don't enjoy reading. And if it's in there, I don't want to read it. I think there's about 29 or 30. I could have miscounted, but yeah. I have 29 tropes to rank today, so let's just go ahead and get into the video. First trope, I'm just gonna go in order of how they are in here. The first trope is student teacher. Now, I don't mind a student teacher. I don't like absolutely love it. Like, it's definitely not God tier, but I do enjoy a student teacher. I love like the forbidden aspect of it. Student teacher, I think I'm gonna put that in like, because I do like it, and there are a few student teacher books that I have really enjoyed, but it's not one that I absolutely love, so we're just gonna put it in like. The next one we have is fake dating. Now, I love fake dating. It's recently become one of my all-time favorite tropes. I used to like it before, but now I've read so many good fake dating books, like The Spanish Love Deception. So I'm gonna put fake dating in, I don't know if it's quite God tier. Is it God tier? This is what I mean, I'm indecisive. Do I want to put it in God tier? Because I feel like it low-key has become God tier recently. I think I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna put it in God tier. I love it. It's so good. Okay, so the next one we have is sports romance. Now, I love sports romance. There's something about sports romance that's just so good. The Off Campus series is one of my favorite series of all time, as you guys know. I just have a thing for sports romance. Specifically, hockey is what I love the most, or basketball. But there aren't many basketball romances out there. Like, if you guys know any good basketball romances, let me know, because I need to read them all. Because I've only read the Hoop series by Kennedy Ryan, which is one of my all-time favorite series. That one's so good, and that's basketball romance, and I loved that. But other than that, I haven't really read like any. And yeah, so hockey, basketball I really love. I'm gonna put sports romance in love, because it's not quite God tier. Obviously, I do have my God tier sports romances, but I love sports romance. Okay, now you have forced proximity. Now, I love a good forced proximity mode. This is what I mean, I love everything. This is like why I can't do this video, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm pushing myself. I literally love every trope, so, well, almost every trope. So forced proximity is one that I do enjoy. I love when they're forced to be around each other. We stand. So I think I'm gonna put that in like, because it's not quite like a God tier, and like I do enjoy it. So yes. Then we have bad boy, good girl. Now, I love this. I think it's growing up on Wattpad that has made me love the bad boy, good girl trope. I love a bad boy in books. In real life, not so much, because most of the time they're assholes and treat women awfully. So in real life, we like a nice guy. But in books, I love to read about a bad boy. So I'm gonna put that in God tier. I just love it. It's just so good. There's just something about a bad boy that I just love, you know? Then we have mafia romance. Now, mafia romance, I haven't read a ton of published mafia romance. I read heaps of mafia romance back when I used to read Wattpad all the time, and even on like Episode, if you guys remember Episode, I used to read mafia on that back in like early high school. But as for published Mafia, I've only read 1 or 2. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in eh. Like, it's not my favorite, but I still enjoy it. So it's not a void. Like, I will read it, but I haven't read a ton of Mafia books, which is the only reason that it's not in the like or the love, because I haven't read a ton. If you guys have any Mafia romance recommendations, let me know. I'm actually currently reading the Maid series by Danielle Laurie, and I didn't love the first book. The second book's better though. But yeah, Grumpy Sunshine is next. I love Grumpy Sunshine. There's something about a Grumpy Sunshine book that's just so good. You know what I haven't read though? A Grumpy Sunshine book where the girl is grumpy and the boy is sunshine. If you guys have any recommendations for that trope, drop them in the comments, because I don't think I've ever read that. I've read so many Grumpy Sunshine books where the guy's grumpy, the girl's sunshine, but never the other way around. So I'm gonna put this in God tier. It's one of my favorites. It's so good. I'm obsessed. So the next one's Bodyguard Romance. Now, Bodyguard Romance I also haven't read a ton of, but I read a really good one the other week, Twisted Games by Anna Hung. That one's so good, and it's like made me fall in love with Bodyguard Romance. So I'm gonna put that in like, because I do really enjoy it. Okay, now we have Right Person, Wrong Time. Now, Right Person, Wrong Time is one that I do enjoy, but it's so frustrating, like in the best way. Like, I've read a couple and it's just like you just want them to be together, but they can't, and it's so frustrating. So I'm gonna put that in love, because I do like it. Okay, the next trope's Only One Bed. I love the one bed trope. But do I put it in like or do I put it in love? So this is where I get super indecisive, because it's like, it's not quite God tier, but I really, really love it. Okay, I think I'm gonna put, I think I'm gonna put it in love. No, I think I'm gonna put it in like next to forced proximity, because like they kind of go hand in hand. Most of the time in a forced proximity situation, they'll have to share one bed, and then they always end up cuddling by the morning. Okay, Love at First Sight, avoid. I hate Love at First Sight, insta love, absolutely not. I haven't read a ton of books, but most of the time I haven't enjoyed the books that I have read that had that Love at First Sight or like insta love trope. Avoid, 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 hate it. And the next one we have is Love Triangle, straight into avoid. I despise love triangles. I will literally avoid that book if it has it in there. Although I do want to read Serenading Heartbreak by Ella Fields, because everyone who literally hates love triangles says that that book's like the only exception. It's like really good and not like bad. I have read a couple of love triangle books and I hate them. And yeah, it just, I'm an indecisive person, like I've said a million times in this video, and like if both of the love interests are super sweet and amazing, then I'll fall in love with both of them, and then I don't know who I want the girl to be with, and it's just frustrating. Or you have the other end of the spectrum where it's like one's really bad and one's really good, then there's no point of the love triangle at all, because obviously no one's going to be rooting for this other character. So yeah, hate love triangles. Next we have Single Parent. This is straight to God tier. You guys know I love single parent, specifically single dad. Single mom, not as much. Single dad, give me that. Give me all the single dad books. I'm literally reading one right now and it's so good. There's just something about the single dad interacting with their kid that melts my heart. I love it so much. Okay, next we have Friends to Enemies to Lovers. Now I love this, specifically childhood friends to enemies to lovers, straight in the God tier. It's the one that I love. I read so many good friends to enemies to lovers books. There's just something about it that's just so good. Okay, next we have Age Gap. Now I do love a good age gap. A lot of the books I do read are age gap, like unintentionally. Like there always seems to be an age gap. What I don't like is when the woman is older. Like, I'll read it if it's there, but it's not my favorite. I definitely prefer it when the guy's older. But like, a lot of the books that I read, the guy's like, what, 35 and the girl's like 26 or something, and there's like a 10-year, 9-year age gap in most of the books anyway. Accidental pregnancy. No, straight into avoid. I despise the accidental pregnancy trope or surprise pregnancy trope, or just pregnancy in books in general, unless it's in an epilogue where they're having kids like in the future. like that's fine, because like I love kids. Like I love kids in books, like single parent, like I said, but when the character gets pregnant, I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. The only one I like is The Goal by Elle Kennedy. It's the only exception. Tucker and Sabrina is the only one I enjoy, but any other accidental pregnancy book, I don't want to read it. Next we have bully romance. Now I do love a good bully romance moment. It kind of goes hand in hand with like enemies to lovers. A lot of the bully romances are friends to enemies to lovers, and I do love that. And we have brother's best friend. Now I love a good brother's best friend moment, and high-key wish I had an older brother who has hot friends. Unfortunately, my brother is 12, so I can never have a brother's best friend moment, but that's okay. I'm fine. But yeah, I'm gonna put this in love. It's not quite God tier, but I love it. Now we have friends with benefits to lovers. I don't think I've read a ton of this. I mean, Ugly Love is kind of friends with benefits to lovers. They're not really friends though. Yeah, I haven't read a ton of these, but I mean, I don't mind it. It's just kind of for me. Like, if it's there, it's there, but I don't really actively seek out books like that. Now we have workplace romance. Now I do love a good workplace romance moment, and I've read so many. A lot of Vi Keelan and Penelope Ward's books are workplace romance, and they're some of my favorite authors. And also T.L. Swan writes a lot of workplace romance. So yeah, I do like it. It depends who writes it though, because some workplace romances aren't that good. But I do enjoy, I read a really good one recently as well. Stay tuned for my September wrap up, because I'm going to talk about it in that video. Now we have enemies to lovers. You know that's going straight in the God tier. I love enemies to lovers. There's just something about a hate to love moment that's just so good. Like, it's just so good. We stand. Okay, then we have strangers to lovers. Now this one is in most books with a combination of other tropes anyway, so I'm gonna put it in like, because most of the time a lot of the characters in books are strangers before they fall in love, so I don't like not like it, but like if that's the only trope, like if they just meet and then they fall in love, it's not really that interesting. But if it's in combination with other tropes, then it is more interesting. Okay, now we have childhood friends to lovers. I love childhood friends to lovers. I love childhood friends to lovers more than I like friends to lovers, because a lot of the time friends to lovers can be done in a way that's not all that entertaining. But childhood friends to lovers, they have so much history behind their friendship and that whole build up to them, you know, falling in love when they were kids, and then like it's just so good. Then we have slow burn. Now slow burn I have a love-hate relationship with. If it's done well, I like it. Now I don't hate me, but I haven't read any Mariana Zapata slow burns, mainly because she writes the type of slow burn where they don't get together until literally 95 or 90% of the book. Like, they don't get together until there's like 10% of the book left. And I'm like, I kind of feel like, what's the point in a way? Because it's like, all that build up, all that angst, all that tension, and then finally, yes. But like, I don't know, I just feel like I've kind of wasted my time in a way. I haven't read any, so I don't know, but if I don't like slow burn romances where they don't get together until like the very, very end. A lot of slow burns that I like are when they get together 70% in, or they kiss 70% in. That's good. We still have a good chunk of the book left, so they can have a bunch of cute moments when they're a couple. But I've read a couple of slow burns where they have no moments whatsoever. Like Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. I did not like that book because it's slow burn, it's friends to lovers, but nothing happens between them. Like, they don't have any moments where they almost kiss, or like there's not really any tension, there's not really any like angst. It's kind of just not that interesting to read. And so if a slow burn's done well, then it can be really good. So I'm gonna put it in like. I do enjoy it. I have read a few good slow burns, but it depends on the way it's written. Now we have the one of them is famous trope. Now it's kind of just meh. I'm gonna put it in the category. I don't love it, I don't hate it. It's just kind of whatever. I haven't read a ton of One of Them Is Famous books. I have read a few where they're musicians and they're famous, and I don't really like those ones that much. But yeah, it's just kind of whatever. I hate everyone in the world but you. This one is God tier. I hate everyone in the world but you. It's just so good. There's something about it that's just phenomenal. Like, it goes hand in hand with like Grumpy Sunshine, Enemies to Lovers. It's just so good. Then we have Right Person, Not Enough Time. Now this one is another one I have a love-hate relationship with. Like, I love it, but it's so heartbreaking. Like, because most of the time one of the characters is gonna die, they're not gonna have a happy ending, and it's just, it breaks your heart and makes me bawl my eyes out. And I kind of love that though. Like, I love when a book makes me cry. And so Right Person, Not Enough Time, I'm gonna put it in the love category. I do love it. I do love it, but it's also so heartbreaking. So yeah. Then we have Friends to Lovers. Now I love Friends to Lovers when done right. I just uploaded a whole video with so many recommendations of Friends to Lovers books that are done really, really well. But if it's not done well, it can be a bit boring and not all that entertaining, and that's when I don't like Friends to Lovers. But if it's done well, it can be God tier. So I'm gonna put it in like, because I do love it, but only if it's done properly. Then we have Good Boy, Bad Girl. Now this is a trope that I don't hate, I don't really love. I'm gonna put it in eh. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. I haven't read a ton, like I said, but it's like, it's still one I do enjoy. I more just like it when it's just good boy, like period, like not bad girl and then good boy, but just like the boy's a sweetheart, super nice guy. I love books like that, but the girl doesn't necessarily have to be like bad. Like Archer's Voice, he's a sweetheart in that. Maybe Someday, Ridge is so sweet in that book. Or like It Ends With Us, Atlas, or like Elegant from Love and Other Words. Like, I love a good like nice guy, good boy trope, but it doesn't necessarily have to be good boy, bad girl, if that makes sense. Now I just realized that Marriage of Convenience and Arranged Marriage aren't on here. But Arranged Marriage is in the avoid category. I hate arranged marriage, but Arranged Marriage and Marriage of Convenience are completely different to me. So Arranged Marriage I don't like because it feels very forced. It's very like, hey, I'm like making you fall in love. Like, you don't really want to be together, but because you're married, you're forced to be around each other, and now you're gonna fall in love, and it just doesn't really feel real to me, and I don't really like that. Especially like, that's why I haven't read a lot of mafia books, because a lot of mafia books have the arranged marriage trope, and I don't like that trope. But Marriage of Convenience is one that I don't mind. I like it. I read a really good one recently. I haven't read a ton of them, but I don't mind it because both the characters are benefiting from this marriage. They both want to get married for the convenient situation, but they don't necessarily like each other or want to be together. But it's not like arranged marriage where one of them is completely against it and the other one's like, I don't really want to marry you, but you know, I'm in the mafia and I need you to be with me so I can get like benefits from your mafia. Like, it's just stupid. Those are the two tropes that weren't on there, and I didn't even realize. Those are all the tropes that I'm going to be ranking. This is my final rankings on the screens. That is all for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed filming this video and ranking my favorite tropes. If you guys want to see me rank anything else, let me know and I can definitely do that for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm blah 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 blah. Focus on my face. Oh my god, I can't do this. I'm gonna cry. I'm so frustrated. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's great. I'm thriving. Okay.